So this is just to set the context or to describe to you where the case is and how it is headed. Where it is headed, of course it is headed the legal way, but what all could be the outcomes and the contentions. So the videography survey has been submitted, and of whatever little we know of it, we know that a Shivling's been found in the Gyanvapi mosque well, or the Gyanvapi coop. Now this well is placed right between the Gyanvapi mosque as well as the Kashi Vishwanath temple. The Hindu party says that this is actually a Shivling, and the Muslim party says this is not a Shivling, it's a fountain. The Hindu party also says that this is a Shivling for sure because there's no water duct in it, and also for the fact that it is in the direct position where Nandi is placed or Nandi is facing. So as per the Hindu architecture, it makes sense. Muslim party does not want any change in the Gyanvapi mosque architecture or their worship or any intervention or change or alteration in the procedures which are within the Gyanvapi mosque, whether it is removal of a wall or allowing more times worship of the Shringar Gauri deity. And this is the Places of Worship Act. The Places of Worship Act was brought in 1991 by the Narasimha Rao government. Basically, this bill, to simplify, is that you cannot change the character of a structure or a place of worship under this, as long as it was not under litigation till 15th of August 1947. So basically, from the time of independence, anything that was under litigation is exempted, and anything after that is not exempted, and you cannot touch it. And not only can you not change the character of that place, you cannot also alter any portion of that building to make place for worship of another religion, and not just of another religion, of the sect of the same religion as well, under the Places of Worship Act. Now this is going to be most likely contested by the Hindu side by the Ancient Monuments Act. Provision is for the preservation of ancient and historical monuments as well as archaeological sites, sculptures, statues, carvings and objects of this variety. There is an act, another section in the Indian Constitution, and that section is section 4, bracket 3, bracket 1. Under this section, basically, Ancient Monument Act can be used to take an exemption for the Places of Worship Act. You might remember that even in the Ram Janmabhoomi Babri Masjid case, this was cited in 2019 when the verdict was pronounced. Hindu party says that this Act of Places of Worship Act has already been challenged in court, saying that the action of invaders cannot be legitimized, and that faith also has a primary place in a person's life as well as a community's life. Now, suppose these legal aspects don't come through, or the arguments do not make an impression in front of the bench, that is to bring a legislation in Parliament and change the Places of Worship Act. Much like, if you remember, in 1991, the act was brought in when the Babri Masjid was still standing, by the way. The same way a legislation can be brought in to make an amendment for it, where as far as buildings are concerned which are of significant value of religion or faith. This is precisely what Owaisi has challenged the government to do, and say that because of your brute force of majority, bring a legislation and change it, and if you don't want to do it, then enforce law. You can quite well imagine that there is no easy answer. It is a complex case. It involves faith, it involves emotion, it involves sentiment of both parties. It is likely to pan out in a way where it's going to be legal, it's going to be complex, and it's possibly going to be quite prolonged. At the end, most likely end at the bench of the Supreme Court or the apex court of this country.